All right, so on Monday, we're going to have a quiz over 4.4 through 4.7. Use these notes to help you study. The first thing that you'll see on there is to write something as an inequality. Remind me again, guys, what's an inequality?
Greater than, less than.
Greater than or less than, okay? So whenever it asks for an inequality, you're not going to have an equal sign, but you're going to have greater than or less than, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, okay? Let's start with this. It says a number y, so what will I write? Y. The next thing you will write every time is the number. What number do you see there? 5. Now the hardest part is to figure out at least. In your 4.4 notes, there was a little graph that told you all these different words, at least, at most, things that could help you. Use that to study, okay? But if you forget to study it, let's just use our reasoning skills. If I say, I need you to bring me at least 5 pieces of paper, could you bring me exactly 5 pieces of paper? Yes. So whenever you have exactly, you're going to put that equal sign. If I say I need at least 5 pieces of paper, could you give me less than 5? No. Could you bring me more? Yes, because I needed at least. So the correct inequality should be y is greater than or equal to 5. I would like you guys to try B on your own. Let's see what you came up with. Problem B says twice a number x is no less than -4. How do I write twice a number x?
X times 2.
Okay, x times 2, which we would say as 2x. What number should I put? -4, because you're just writing whatever number is there in the original problem. Now it says no less than. If it is not less than, it has to be
Equal to.
what's the opposite of less than? Greater than. And could it be equal to?
Yes.
Yes, it could. So the correct answer is 2x is greater than or equal to -4. For this next idea, it asks us to tell whether -2 is a solution to the inequality. I would like you guys to circle -2. Then down here I say plug it in, plug it in. So at the beginning of the school year, we did a lot of plugging in. Now we're going to do that again. Instead of C, what does it tell me to plug in? A -2. So I'm going to plug in -2 and drop everything else down. Let's work on the left side first. What is -2 plus 5? Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract and take. 3. Drop down your less than or equal to and your 3. So back to my instructions, it says tell whether -2 is a solution. Guys, is this truthful? 3 is less than or equal to 3? Yes, it is. So the correct answer is yes, it is a solution to the problem. Try problem B on your own. All right, John, tell me what you did.
I put in -2 for n, -5 is greater than or equal to -5, and then same sign add and keep, which is -7, and then drop down the sign -5.
Is this a true statement? -7 is greater than or equal to -5? No, it is not. -7 is less than. So that tells me that is not a solution to that inequality. All right, solve the inequality and then graph the solution. Jonathan, identify the variable. What is not allowing x to be alone? Subtract by 10. What's the opposite of subtract by 10? Add by 10. Remember to be fair to both sides. Class, what are you left with?
X is greater than
All right, should I flip my sign? No. Remember, the only time you flip your sign is if the last thing you did is multiply or divide by a negative number on both sides. Now let's go ahead and graph it. What goes in the middle, Zoe? -2 to the left. Very good. Is this open or closed? Open. And should my arrow be going to the right or the left? To the right, because all solutions are greater than -2. Let's go on to the next one. Christina, what's the first thing I need to do?
You need to flip your whole problem.
You are correct. The variable is not on the left side, so we're going to switch the entire problem around.
Can I do the rest?
Yep, go ahead.
So then you have to put 3 above that x, and those 2 cancel out. You put 3 beside -5. And then that's going to equal -15 for the line under all of that. Bring down your x, bring down your sign, and all that.
All right, should I flip my sign? No. The last thing I did was multiply by a positive on both sides. All right, Jada, do the graph for us, please.
So in the middle is -15. To the left is -16. To the right is -14. It's going to be an open circle because it's not equal to. And it goes to the left.
You are correct, because all solutions are less than -15, and less than always goes to the left. Okay, for problem C, I've got a number that's tucked on the outside of my parentheses. What's that called when I need to get it into everything on the inside? Class? Distributive. Use your red pen to show arrows, helping me to understand that you understand you have to distribute that 3 to everything on the inside. Class, what's 3 times x?
3x.
3x. How about 3 times -2? -6. Then drop down your greater than or equal to and your 18. Do we have any best friends here?
Yeah.
Who?
3x.
3x. It stays together as long as possible. You guys try this on your own. Tyler, what should I do first?
So you do the distributed property.
Okay, we just distributed, so now what should I do?
Now you plus 6 to the -6, and then plus 6 to the 18, that equals 24, and then 3x is equal to or less than, is less than or equal to?
Greater than or equal to.
Yeah, greater than or equal to 24, and then divide 3 by 3, and then divide 24 by 3, and that will equal 8, and then x greater than or equal to 8.
Very good. Should I flip my sign?
No, ma'am.
No. The very last thing that we did was divide by a positive number on both sides, so I do not need to flip the symbol. Brian, how do I graph this?
So draw a line and you put 8 in the middle,
Very good.
9 to the right, and 17.
All right, is this open or closed circle?
Close.
Good job. It's a closed circle because there's an equal sign there. And our answer here says that all solutions are greater than 8. Which one of these is greater than 8? 7 or 9?
9.
The 9. So we know that the arrow needs to go in the direction of where the 9 is. And now all solutions are going to be greater than 8. Next up, Cade. What should I do to my problem first?
Flip it around.
Okay, we're going to flip it around. Remember, we flipped everything, including the sign. Do we have any best friends there?
Yes.
Who?
-2 and x.
Very good. Keep that together because it's a number that's attached to the variable. Keep going.
You put +6 under your -6 and put +6 for 10. And then you cancel that out and you get 16 on the right side. And you drop down your -2x. And then you divide by -2. And then divide by -2 on the other side. And then on the right side you put -8. And x is less than or equal to.
Okay.
Less than.
So you're saying less than. Why is it less than?
Because you divide it by 2 negative signs.
You are correct. So we're going to rewrite it underneath, not just erase it, but we're going to rewrite, showing me that you understand you have to flip that sign. All right, now we're going to graph it. John, what number goes in the middle?
-8,
And to the left?
-9,
And to the right?
-7,
Open or closed circle?
closed circle,
Why?
because it's equal to
Very good. There's an equal to sign. And which direction should it go?
the left.
To the left, because it says all solutions are less than -8. Section number 4 asks us to write an inequality that would represent the situation. We always start with a variable. Which one do we use?
X.
X. Let's write it down. Then you put your number. What's the circle on?
-2.
-2. Now the hardest part is identifying what the inequality symbol is going to be. So you've got to look to see if it's open or closed, and then if everything is greater than that -2, or if it is less than. Guys, what inequality symbol do you think we should put?
Greater than.
Greater than. Should it be equal to?
No.
No, why not? It's an open circle. All right, you guys do problem B on your own. All right, as I walked around, I'm very happy with what I saw. Guys, what's the answer?
X is less than or equal to -9.
Okay, a few people forgot their equal to sign. How do we know it's equal to?
Because the circle is closed.
Because the circle is closed or it's filled in. That means -9 could be a solution for this inequality. Section number 5, write and graph an inequality to represent the situation. You must jog for at least 4 miles. So let's imagine that you go into PE class and your PE teacher says, do not come back and see me until you have jogged at least 4 miles. First things first, put your
Number.
variable. What's the variable?
X.
X. Then we put our number, which is 4. Could you come back to the PE teacher and say, whew, I just jogged 4 miles?
Yes.
Yes. So I can put a what?
Equals.
An equal sign. Could you come back to that teacher and say, I just can't make it. I only did 1.
No.
No, that would be less than. You can't do less than 4. Could you do greater than?
Yes.
Yeah, your PE teacher would think that you were amazing. So X is greater than or equal to 4. Let me have you guys graph that on your own. All right, Anna, as you graphed it, what number did you put in the middle? On your graph, what number goes in the middle? A 4 goes in the middle. What goes to the left?
3.
And to the right?
5.
Open or closed?
Close.
And should it go to the right or the left? It should go to the right because all solutions are greater than 4. You guys do problem B on your own. All right, problem B. The Jordan River is at most -350 meters. First things first, start with your variable, then write your number, which is?
-350.
Okay, if it is at most -350, could it be exactly -350? Yes, it could. Now, should it be less than or should it be greater than? It should be less than because the most it can be is this number right here. Now let's graph it. What goes in the middle?
-350.
-350. What is one smaller? What's one smaller?
-360.
-351. What's one bigger?
One smaller.
Remember, as you are graphing negative numbers, it looks backwards, but it's not backwards. Is this open or closed?
Close.
Closed. And should it go to the left or the right? It goes to the left. For the Modeling Real Life today, you earn $10 per hour at your summer job. Write and solve an inequality. Remember what inequality is?
Greater or less than.
Can I end up with just an equal sign? No, not when it says inequality, okay? Write and graph an inequality that represents, write and solve an inequality that represents the number of hours you must work to earn enough money to buy a phone that costs $840. Interpret what the solution means in a complete sentence. So there's a couple key words that I want you guys to see here. Everybody underline per hour. When we see per hour, is that add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Multiply. Anytime you see that word per something, that means to multiply it, okay? So you're going into a summer job, and you say, listen, I'm really trying to get $840 because I want to buy a new phone, all right? So the person who's there says, okay, I will offer you $10 per hour. In order to do that, that would be 10, and I'm going to say times H, because H stands for? Hours, okay? So you'll earn 10 per hour. So if I was to plug in a 1 there, what's 10 times 1?
10.
Yeah, 1 hour you would get paid $10. What if you worked 3 hours? 10 times 3 would be? $30. How about if you worked 7 hours? 70. Okay, so that's why we do times that number. That's the way to easily figure out how much money you're earning. How much money total did we want to earn?
$840.
We want to earn $840. if you were to go to the store and hand them exactly $840, could you get your phone?
Yes.
Yes. So when we say exactly, that means what sign? Equals. Now if you were to go in there and say, oh, I have been working so many hours. I have $835. Would they say, oh, that's fine, that it's a little less than?
Yes.
No, they would say you may not have it until you come back with all the money. So if it cannot be less than, it has to be greater than. Now we have written this inequality. I want you guys to solve it on your own. Guys, how do I get that h by itself? Divide by 10 on both sides. Now, we're practicing with calculators, which means on your test or quiz, you're allowed to use it. But if I look at this and there's a 0 in the numerator and in the denominator, what can I do with those? Take out the zeros. What's 84 divided by 1? 84. Now, what does the H stand for? Hours. Okay, some people were putting in $84, but you got to go back through to just double check and see what it's asking for, okay? It asks you to write an inequality that represents the number of hours you have to work in order to buy enough money to get this phone. This is the final answer, though. Interpret what the solution means in a complete sentence. Talk to the person sitting next to you to see what you think would be a good interpretation. John, what'd you say?
You must work 84 hours or more to buy the phone.
Okay. Guys, could I say you must work 84 hours to buy the phone?
Yes.
No. Okay, what did he say? He didn't just say you have to work 84. Think about, we are interpreting what this sign means. 84 or, there you go. So you must work 84 or more hours.
Can we say to make $840 you must?
There's another way that you could also say it. You could say you must work at least 84 hours. Either of those would be fine. Each day at lunch, at least 75 people buy French fries. Write and graph an inequality that represents the situation. First things first, put your variable. What's our variable?
X.
Then put your number. What's our number?
75.
Now, it says at least. This is something you could memorize. At least will always be the same exact thing. But if you don't have it memorized, could it be exactly 75 people?
Yes.
Yes. If it says at least 75, that's the bottom amount. Would it be greater than or less than?
Greater than.
It has to be greater than. All right, what number goes in the middle of our graph?
75.
What's one smaller?
74.
One bigger.
76.
Open or closed?
Close. Arrow
To the right or the left?
right.
Oh, I'm smart.
Let's go.
All right, so guys, listen, use these notes to help you study for the quiz on Monday.
Check my homework.